What's going on, guys? It is me, the Floppy Ragdoll, doing a commentary for the Commentators Challenge Round 3. Whoop, 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 whoop. I made it in, and this time I'm right up against, well, not right, I'm right up against, sounds a little bit gay. I am up against AussieLoads. Now, he is a great guy, good commentator. I've been talking to him on Skype since the first round, because I met him through private parts on Skype. And I've been watching a lot of his commentaries. He's really good, so I'm kind of on the ropes with who's going to win. I'm not going to say he's shit, and I'm not going to say like I'm the better one in this competition, because I don't feel that way. I actually feel like I'm on the ropes. This could be a really close one, but at the same time, it could be a domination through either side. I honestly have no idea how this is going to go. So make sure you listen to both the commentaries really carefully, and make your decision wisely. Because as Spider-Man's granddad said, with great power comes great responsibility, and this isn't great power, but it's similar. Alright, anyway, back to it. What I'm going to talk about in this commentary, I was struggling to find a topic. I was thinking for ages, what should I do, what shouldn't I do? And then I thought, fuck it, I'll just make a decision, because I'm too busy dawdling around with trying to figure out what I should talk about rather than actually doing it. So I decided to tell you about my worst experience with alcohol. Now, what I can't stress enough is just to be cautious of alcohol. Now, I know you're probably thinking, Floppy, don't be a fucking pussy, but it's true. There's a guy in New Zealand that died last year just by sculling a whole bottle of vodka, but that's just fucking dumb. So don't be an idiot with alcohol. Be smart. But what happened in this instance was my friends were up at a concert in Auckland, in New Zealand. The concert was called R&V, or Rhythm and Vines, and they were fairly expensive tickets, so I didn't actually buy any. I just decided to meet them afterwards, like go on a 5-hour drive and meet them at a place and have a party time. And when we got there, that we had booked a backpackers. We booked room in a backpackers. It was like 20 bucks a night or something, pretty cheap. And then I found out that my room was actually booked separately to theirs, which was kind of annoying, but I didn't really care too much. But then I found out the rooms were communal. So my room was with about 20 other people. There was only about 10 other people in there at the time when I was there, though, so it was alright, but there was a lot of beds that could have been filled. Thank goodness they weren't. And these people were Germans, and they were really nice people, and just glad that they weren't friggin' rapists that were just like, oh, he's a nice European young man. I can't wait for him to drop the fucking soap. Anyway, this is getting a bit distracted. Back to the story. What happened was they had a bar there, and this bar was amazingly cheap. They were selling double-sized shots for $5, 2 of them for $5. So I think, on recollection, I ended up spending, I think it was $80 just on those shots. So 2 shots, 2 double-sized shots for $5, and I spent $80 on it. You do the math. Too much for my head. And then I also ended up buying 4 Jaeger bombs. Now, if you don't know what a Jaeger bomb is, it's a shot of Jaeger dropped into a glass of Red Bull or Mother or whatever energy drink you prefer. But the reason most people know about Jaeger bombs, but just for those that may be too young to drink yet, that's just an explanation. Just be like, what's a Jaeger bomb? There's your explanation. Now, what happened was, as you can imagine, with such a large intake of alcohol, I got wasted. Now, I'm a fairly skinny guy. I don't have the biggest build out there. Like, if someone was to see you on the street, they'd just be like, fuck, that guy's skinny. I know it. I can see him. He's fucking thin. Look at him. So, that's what they'd be like if they saw me on the street. I'm thin. And the alcohol really got to me. It just completely dominated my system after I consumed it all. And things just started going downhill. Now, I forgot a large portion of the night. Well, I didn't forget, it just, in my head, it did not happen. There's just a blank space. So, what I can also suggest is don't get that pissed to the point where that shit happens, because it's not a fun party. Or it is a fun party, but you can't remember it. All you get to see is the fucking stupid photos of yourself in the morning, and then you feel like an asshole. So, that's all I can stress enough, is it's not going to be a fun party if you can't even remember it. So, what happened after I ended up getting absolutely wasted was I ended up waking up on the toilet. And as you can imagine, I started feeling yuck, my head was swimming. I looked to my right in this tiny little room, there's a wall. Look to my left, there's another wall. Look straight ahead of me and there's a basin. Now I have two decisions. Can I throw up on the floor, or can I throw up in the basin? Because I knew there was a throw up coming, it was inevitable, it was going to happen. But I had to make those decisions. I ended up choosing none of the above. I looked down and see my pants, and my logic was, don't get it on the floor, Luke. You don't want to get on the floor, Luke, because then you have to clean it up. So I thought, pants, good idea. So I power chucked directly into my own pants wrapped around my ankles. Yeah, it is just as disgusting as you'd imagine. It was a terrible idea. I regret it immensely. And then I thought, my thought process got even better. And I thought, there's a hole, there's a gap. Like, you know when you sit on the toilet and you see that gap between your legs straight to the bottom of the bowl? I thought, oh, I'll hit that, I can hit that. So I put my hand in front of my face, deflected it with my hand, trying to aim for that gap. A little bit went in there, and I was stoked about that, but the rest just went all over me. I had it all over my lap, had it in my pants. Now, if you're feeling disgusting, I apologize about this, but this is the story that I said I was going to tell, so I told it. I woke up in the morning with it caked on my lap, inside my pants. I felt terrible, and then I found out the weather was going to get even worse, so everyone was leaving. So I had a nice 5-hour drive that started at 11 in the morning all the way home with an awesome hangover. So that was my worst experience with alcohol. Making a nappy out of toilet paper just to sit in my pants was not enjoyable at all. So I highly recommend being careful when you drink and always take spare clothes. But that's the end of my story. Make sure you vote for who you liked the most down the bottom. If you liked my story a lot, make sure you vote the Floppy Ragdoll. Best of luck to AussieLoads. Sorry I told you the story if you're feeling a bit nauseous right now. But yeah, sorry, I will catch you guys later.
I'm going to take this opportunity to teabag Floppy Ragdoll.
Your name's just moving up and down in the middle of the screen. Can you please stop farting?
What is going on, everybody? AussieLoads here, bringing you guys my third round entry into the Commentator's Challenge. This is a game of Drop Zone on the map Dome. Firstly, I want to wish best of luck to my opponent, Floppy Ragdoll. Me and him have become quite good friends over recent times, and I want to wish him the best of luck. He's an awesome guy, and you know he has a very strong claim to take this tournament out. So it's going to be a tough matchup, but let's make it a good one. So I know he's going to be talking about a similar story. So I'm going to be talking about a night out that I had that, you know, it was quite funny, you know, bit of drinking, bit of this and that, general debauchery involved, so hopefully I'll make it entertaining, and hopefully we can make this an interesting little competition. So, it was New Year's Eve, so the night before New Year's Eve last year, and I remember I was at the driving range with two of my mates who I don't see very often. One of them is from the country, one of them I just don't. He's a really good friend, but I don't talk to him that often. But we're at the driving range, hitting a few golf balls. We went back to the clubhouse, had a couple of beers, caught up, just had a quick chat. You know, we hadn't seen each other for a while, so that was all sweet. And these two were like, "Hey, look, we're going into the city. We're going to go to this club tonight." And I was like, "Yeah, right. I'll think about it." I wasn't particularly keen at the time, but I said, "Yep, I'll think about it. And I'll see what happens." I got home and I was like, I really do feel like going out now. I think that the few beers had something to do with that, and I remember thinking, I remember ringing up two of my mates, one of which was in those two guys, one of which wasn't, and I said, "Look, where are you guys going out?" So I met one of them out in the city in Darling Harbour here in Sydney. Had a few drinks, and then I met the others, and we went to the club, and we rocked up. We got 3 hand grenades. So if you don't know what they are, just look up the recipe on the internet. They're pretty fearsome little things. And we're like, this is way too expensive. We got our stamps, left the club, went to a pub, got absolutely trashed. I think I had about 2.5 litres of beer, a couple of Jaeger, a couple of scotches, a couple of tequila shots, and yeah, my mind was in a good place, so to speak. And I remember doing my friend's like, you can do backflips, can't you? And I was like, yeah, man. And he's like, you got to do one. So down the main street of King's Cross here in Sydney, I did a backflip. That was a good idea. Well, not really, but it made for an interesting little story. So we went back to the club, got in for free because it was students' night or whatever. We got in, And I remember my mate's friends were there, and his account of the story for us three was, what the fuck happened to you guys? You know, you turned up, you said hi, next minute you guys are all hooking up with random chicks, and we're like, yeah, well, what do you want us to do? we literally probably spent about 3.5 hours just playing tonsil hockey with a bunch of random chicks. We ended up leaving the club after that, and we exchanged numbers with these girls and then headed off. We're like, let's go to the strip club. We thought that'd be an awesome idea. So we went off, went into this place, and I remember when I turned up, some woman was like, would you guys, can I get you guys a drink? I was like, yeah, can I have a water, please? And she looked at me, she's like, what? And you want a proper drink? And I'm like, no, fucking get me a water. I'm bloody parched here. And she's like, alright. Went off and got me a water, and then this stripper came up to us. And she started talking about the fact that she was from Canada, but in my state, I misconstrued what she said as being. I thought she said she was from Gunnedah, which is a country town here in New South Wales. If you don't know where that is, and I was like, "Are you from Gunnedah? I've got friends from Gunnedah." And she was like, "Really?" Thinking I was saying Canada, and so she went on about this whole Canada business. I went on thinking she was from Gunnedah. Anyway, my friends threw a bit of money at her, and she took me into this very small room, did what she was paid to do, and that was all well and good. We left the club, and we left the club. I can't even remember what exactly happened, but we left this place and went back to my mate's house to, whatever. I think we pissed on. I managed to shoot my own C4, classic loads, but we pissed on a couple of roads. I think walked around his suburb, mucking around for half an hour. This is about 4 in the morning at this stage. We go, and I went back. I'm like, look, I need some water, please. And I got some water, jumped on his PS3 for a little bit and played some COD, which is ironic considering. But that was that. I mean, the next morning we went to the cafe down on the beach near where he lives, and my mate ordered eggs Benedict. And he, being a country boy, he hasn't quite got the grasp on the finer things of life, and he ordered this eggs Benedict, and for those of you that know what that looks like, you know what I'm talking about. He was like, that yolk is fucking huge, and I'm like, no, Matt, that's the hollandaise sauce. That's what eggs Benedict is. And he's like, oh, okay, right. And that caused a little bit of embarrassment. But ever since, common saying among us three is, how's Gunnedah? And then I didn't actually know until that morning. I was like, what about that stripper from Gunnedah? And they were like, what stripper from Gunnedah? I was like, the blonde one. And they were like, she was from Canada, dude. And I was like, what? They were like, yeah, she was from Canada. What do you mean Gunnedah? And I was like, I thought she said she was from Gunnedah. That's why I said Jack blah blah blah. Well, I'm not going to say his last name. So that was one of my mates. I'm not going to say Jack blah 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 is from Canada. What did you guys think I was saying? And they were like, oh right, okay, so I understand you now. And so that was an interesting night out. Pissed on doors, got a stripper, hooked up, and all was good. So that was an entertaining night out I had quite recently. I want to finish up this commentary by saying thanks once again to Cody and Paigey for hosting the Commentators Tournament. It has been an awesome experience so far, and I would like to continue with it, but unfortunately, I'm up against someone who knows what they're doing quite profoundly, I guess you'd say. So I want to wish best of luck to Floppy once again, and thanks to Cody and Paigey for hosting the tournament. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment below and let me know if you did. So thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.